aspects, we will talk about test automation and particularly codeless test automation. What is it, how to cook it, and so on. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Valery. I am solution architect in test automation with more than 16 years of experience in testing, test automation, quality assurance, DevOps, so everything else you can imagine. So I worked in different domains, like business domains, retail, pharmaceutical, life science, whatever, and technical domains like web application, mobile application, data quality, so a lot of experience. That's why probably I'm here and I can present my vision and my personal experience. So you may have another opinion, so it's great, and let's discuss it later. So let's start from the problem. I believe any person seen something like that, or faced with a situation when your manager comes to you and says, we want to decrease our time to market. So this idea is spread across managers, and then test manager comes into the team and says, so let's start creating automated tests, and let's do it tomorrow. And it doesn't matter that we have a team of engineers, but these are only manual or functional test engineers. So also we do not have extra budget. It means that we cannot buy any tool, we cannot like hire more people. We need to do something now, and we need to start creating automated tests. So the problem here is very wide, but let's focus today on the tooling and choosing some approach how can we achieve it technically. I've tried to divide all software that can be used for test automation into three main groups, so like libraries, frameworks, and tools. When we are talking about libraries, these are mostly programming language dedicated, some set of collection of functions, procedures that allow you to simplify your usual work. Like instead of writing your sorting algorithm, you will reuse something from the library or from the technologies from the platform you use. Usually they solve very simple, very small problems. And it's hard to imagine to find the library that will solve our problem with creating automated tests tomorrow. The next area is frameworks. Usually they define some skeleton of control flow, so how your tests will be executed, so how they will be organized. But usually they are empty, so you need to fill them with your code, with your actual business implementation. And also such frameworks may provide additional integration points where you can inject and write your own extensions, plugins, whatever. And the third group are tools. So usually they are trying to be universal and business independent. It means that they can be applied in different domains like technical or business domains. They provide, which is important, a set of features out of the box. So you do not need to write your own code to achieve some result. You need to maybe provide some instructions and the test will be created. Also, due to their feature like they tend to be universal, they usually provide high level of configurability. It means that you may need to tune them in order to fit into different areas, in order to solve different problems. Usually frameworks and tools are named like accelerators, but libraries are not. So it seems for our problem, tools fit better, because we don't need to implement something, we may reuse it, and probably we can start doing this just tomorrow. So let's try to understand which test automation tools are available. In general, it's hard to divide the tools into groups, because they can be in multiple groups at the same time. It means that you can put the same tool into the group of code-based tools and codeless tools. This classification is mostly based on the primary way how the tests are created using these tools. So code-based, this is, I believe, clear. So you need to write the code, and then you will run and get some results. But we remember that we have a team of manual test engineers who probably do not know any programming languages. But then we have a group of codeless, low-code, no-code tools. There is no clear classification yet on the market. What is codeless, what is low-code, what is no-code tool. So I've put all of them into one group. Mostly these names they came from the marketing. So depending on how you want to sell it, people put some name. So as for such tools, we can divide them into two groups. UI-based tools. When you choose something from the UI, so you have, for example, desktop application, and you open this application, you click on the forms, you choose some data, you provide some your inputs, and once you configure everything in the UI, you can run the test. So the examples are like Tricentis Tosca, Test Complete, RunnerX, I think one of the most popular ones. And also the last group are DSL-based tools. These tools are designed to be like very simple, scriptless, or domain-specific language-based tools. So in order to write test, you need to write a set of instructions. And you can write these instructions in your notepad. And then you can use some interpreter or some runner to execute a test. So the primary way how to work with such tools is your editor, maybe with some code complete. So as we are talking about VIVIDUS, let's choose VIVIDUS and see what is it. So VIVIDUS is a tool for test automation. It doesn't require any programming language to start. It's free and open sourced. It means that you can check the source code, you can use it for your pet projects, you can use it on your commercial projects, so it's completely free. It provides a set of test actions. It means that whenever you want to start creating your test, the actions are already available for you. So you just need to choose the proper actions to achieve the result. And also it helps to optimize team setup. So diving deep, which features are available in the tool? First of all, it follows pluggable architecture. It means that whenever we start creating tests, we can choose plugins, technologies which we want to test. So like if I want to test web application with RESTful APIs, I will choose web application plugin, RESTful API, maybe a database. Also, it provides a set of integration points for different test and test case management systems like X-Ray, Zephyr, Report Portal. Also, it has integration points for DevClub. So in order to run some tests, sometimes you need to to have infrastructure and you want to use cloud infrastructure. So that could be source labs, browser stack, couple of tools, a lot of integration points. And of course, it's easy to run and integrate your tests in any CI/CD tool. So what are the features, key features? As any test automation solution or test automation framework, it has embedded reporting mechanism, login mechanism, of course, runner. Also, it provides out-of-the-box features for parallelization, so users shouldn't care of writing like thread-safe code, they shouldn't care of memory, and so on. Also, it has a module that allows to detect known issues. So whenever you write your test, you see some issues, so your test failed, you may mark them as known issues, and after that, when the same issue appears, you don't need to triage your test, it will be marked as known. A set of interesting plugins like visual testing, so in order to UI comparison for web applications or mobile applications, accessibility, also features for data quality testing, so a lot of. And all this is licensed under Apache license 2.0, so free for any usage. So how does it help to optimize the team? In our usual projects, our product owner or business analyst provides a set of requirements. These requirements are analyzed by our functional test engineers. They create test cases, then these test cases transferred to our team of test automation engineers, then they implement it, and finally we have the test embedded into our CI/CD. But it's not optimal setup because our test automation engineers may be busy with some other tasks, so they may work for different teams. Also, they may be not involved into the analysis of requirements. They do not need all the peculiarities of our application. So, having VIVIDUS, we can eliminate all these cons, and our functional test engineers can write tests which can be easily injected into CI/CD. So it means that whenever your tests started creating, so whenever functional test engineers start creating these tests, you already may got their results in automated way. So you can run them and get the results immediately after the requirements come to your team. But as usual, there is no silver bullet here. VIVIDUS is not for functional testing. There are some features for performance testing, like integration with Lighthouse, but in order to do true performance, like low volume stress testing, it's better to use another tools. The same for security, whatever. Also, VIVIDUS is not for unit or component testing, because it's dedicated for system or system integration testing. If you need to test something on low level, it's better to choose another tools. Also, if your system that you are developing has a set of some proprietary protocols, maybe some not so common standards, you need to implement your test automation on yourself, because VIVIDUS provides the features for most popular protocols and standards like HTTP, RESTful API, data formats like JSON, XML, and so on. So let's see how it goes, how it works. Let's do some testing. So the starting point for the VIVIDUS is the documentation. So there are a lot of documentation here based on the plugins and so on, so you can explore it on yourself. But in order to start creating tests, we need to choose some test case. So let's go from the side of my company. Yeah. Let's check if network works. Yep, everything's okay. So what could be test case? Let's go to the careers. Why not? And search for example, engineer in Latvia. Why not? So we have 42 job openings. Okay, sounds good. Like we have this case. So what do we need to do? We have a GitHub project, and there is a starter repository here. So that's a starting point for your own projects. So you want to create your test, and it will generate completely new project. If you want to play with some existing tests, so you can check sample test. If you want to dive deep into source code, so you can check this main repository named VIVIDUS. So let's go and generate new project. Like this. Description any, I will put it like public. Okay. Couple seconds. So generated. For now, you remember I told about plugins. It completely empty. For now, it's completely empty. No plugins are added here. So add the plugin for web application. Okay, and commit the changes. Now let's clone our test project to the local machine. So yeah, it's cloned. And let's open the project. So, how to create tests? As you remember, the project was created from the completely empty starter. There is a concept of how can we configure our tests. So we have profiles, suites, and environments. Profiles, it's infrastructure used to run our tests. Suites, it's actual our tests. And the environments, this is for our application on the test. So we will use, let's say, web, desktop, Chrome. Suite, let's name it like prod, environments, let's say prod. Now we need to configure it. So we need to create suite. Name prod, and also the same for environment. I name it like prod because we need to match the name in the configuration. Okay, so as for environment, we want to test web application and main page URL, so that's a starting point of our test. Going to be the website. Let's choose this one. Okay.
There is a type of application.
Yeah, I see a lot of test engineers here. Okay, I will proceed with configuration a bit later once I create some story. Let's do like this. For example, story, name prod and Dima story. You may treat the actions like very similar to BDD one, but in true BDD you talk to the business and you use business actions, business language. But now the actions that we will use, they are mostly technical. So we are writing the name of the test for okay, we will start with opening the page, like starting page. Then you remember there is this link with careers, so I need to click on some element located by, so if someone works with Selenium or any other UI based tools, you will understand this concept of locators. In general, you can try to write it like this if it works, or maybe you need to dive deep into the markup and check what's behind these beautiful buttons. So this is some link. So anyway, while we are testing, we still need to understand the technology. So if we want to test web application, we need to understand how to check markup. If we are testing, let's say, RESTful APIs, we need to understand what is HTTP. There is no magic here. Okay, so this way the tests are written. I have actually prepared the example to not waste time. So what happens here? We will search for careers. We will type engineer. We will then click on the item to choose the area we want to select, like Latvia and so on. Click button find and so on. So, but let's put some error here. See what happens. So try to do TDD. So the story is created, and we need to configure the test suite. So there is an idea of batches. So if someone wants to dive deep, you can see the details in the documentation. So we need to configure where our tests are located. These are not Dima, but prod. And let's run it. I'm not sure if everything was configured correctly, but let's see. Yeah, as usual, there are some errors. No test configured. Yeah, that's true. This one and this one. code yet. Running once again, fingers crossed. Yeah, and it's broken. It's broken. Let's see. There is some error. Probably I made some typos, so I will just reuse my snippets. Usually you need to write this application. There is not correct.
Maybe you forget to save in properties.
Yeah, right. Thank you. And yeah. So it's failed, as you can see, but you remember that we put some error here. We want to see how it looks like. Okay, so what's happened? We can see set of actions done within this test, and we see that we were expecting 41 job opening. There are some technical details here in case you want to dive deep, but actual was 42. Also, there is some screenshot generated. Also, there is some source code. You can check what happens. And what is important here, I haven't written any line of the code in terms of like programming languages. So let's rerun it to check if everything goes okay. I've just used capabilities and features which are available out of the box. So just set of actions and all what is needed to write this test, just to do proper configurations and to write several lines with actions. So now it's passed. Let's check the results in our report. Yep, everything is great. So basically that's it. It's for demo. And thank you for your attention. Questions?
Ooh. What kind of browsers are supported right now?
All browsers. So like Chrome, Safari, Edge, Firefox.
Oh, that's good.
That's not something modern.
And protocols?
Protocols. HTTP, Kafka, clouds like Azure, AWS.
But speaking of browser protocols, WebDriver or DevTools?
So mostly this is WebDriver. We are thinking of adding either bidirectional protocol or maybe adding playwright implementation, which is technical also DevTools.
So it's still possible to write the code that would cover this BDD comments, right? In Playwright, for example, or how it
So
work in this case?
it's based on the plugin-based architecture. So it means that by default you do not need to write any lines of the code. But if you wish, you can easily write your own code and create your own steps behind this.
Okay.
So just add some, actually based on the Java, so add some Java, Kotlin, Scala, any JVM compatible code to the project, and you will be able to create your own instructions.
Ah, nice.
But usually it's not required because set of actions already predefined and you don't need to invent something new.
And what was the reason for this project to be born?
So at first, I believe that's kind of topic of one more probably discussion, but in general, there is no free tools on the market which can be used by people without programming background. So there are there is Karate and there is Catalan, but Catalan is limited. They're trying to somehow to get some money from it, so not really easy to use it. Karate is a bit limited, and the language looks a bit, I would say, complex for people. In general, we started long time ago, and I believe that was the time when Karate supported only RESTful APIs.
Cool.
Are you fishing? That's the reason why I used to put no fishing.
Yeah.
So this tool is called, is it usable only for web-based tests, or it's also can be used to perform tests towards databases like Oracle, Microsoft, and so on?
Yeah, so you can do data testing. All databases which support JDBC protocol. Technically, I can't even name anyone which doesn't support. So you can create queries, you can test them. Moreover, I would say we are not limited in databases only, but there are some NoSQL storages like MongoDB, and also we use this tool to test ETL pipelines when you have some set of transformations, you have inputs. So quite good results, because also we were able to adopt it to work with set of not true big data but large data. Okay.
Integrity with the test management. When you ask manual testers to work with automation, right? You don't expect them to install backend Visual Studio, etc., right? So
yeah.
I know that Catalan don't have a facility; they have their own kind of friendly, but still kind of suite inside of their tool, right? So I'm always trying to get them to work in the same test management tool where they store the test cases in, for example, Jar, right? You get the functional, you update the feature files, even they have that plugin for feature files creation, right? And then you use that tool only to execute, store, and run the test cases.
That's a good question. We do not have exactly this way of integration. The reason is probably we haven't see demand on this for now. And another important point is whenever you have systems like Catalan, which are web applications somewhere installed, so you need some backend behind this system, then it means that you need infrastructure, and depending on the amount of people working with your tool, probably you need to pay a lot for this infrastructure. And when we are selling this tool, we are saying that you don't have to do any investments. That's why we were focused on using some local infrastructure, some laptops of test engineers to create tests, to run tests, and so on. As for integrations with the system like X-Ray, Zephyr, and so on, you can import results there. So you have test cases, you can do mapping here, and then you can import the results and see what is passed, what is failed. That's it. Yeah, thanks. Welcome.
How do you say anything about the framework and
Sorry, could you robot framework. So that's one more good question. That was one of our competitors on a big project, and on this project still these two tools live. What are the issue with robot framework? I'm not sure. Maybe it's already solved. So maybe we have experts here, but it was really hard to run tests in parallel. Using multiple threads, using robot framework. So you need to invent some solutions how to run them into multiple threads. So this is the known limitation. At least I've checked it about 1.5, maybe 2 years ago, and you needed to invent something. With VIVIDUS you can just put single property and put the number, and you will get the number of parallel threads as you wish. So a lot of other aspects here we can compare. That's again, I can talk much on this. So yeah, please.
My question will not related how you write those Gherkin stories or other things, but is there any support of other IDEs rather than VS Code?
So VS Code, I would say, the most rich features available in the VS Code. Also, old-fashioned Eclipse is supported. As for IntelliJ IDEA, only limited support. We are thinking of implementing plugin for IntelliJ IDEA, but this is just our thoughts yet.
At some point you mentioned selling this tool, but the whole idea behind that was sharing it under Apache Commons license. So what is the actual business model here? And what you're hiding from us?
So when I say selling, it means that whenever you start the project, you need to sell your customer idea. So we want to use this tool, and we need to sell it to customer test engineers, maybe some solution architects. So when I'm saying selling, it means like promoting this tool to use this tool on the project. As for the marketing, no marketing. So it's completely free and developed by engineers on their free time. Yeah.
Next question on the same topic, basically about the selling part. How does removing the whole selling point of BDD from BDD actually helps you promote this? So you mentioned it is more technical, it's less focused on business, yet it kills the whole purpose of having BDD.
Yeah, so we do not position it as BDD, but you can write your test in BDD form. So there is a way how can you avoid duplications, and you can create your custom steps, which combines these low-level test actions. As for selling, the main idea is that you do not need to implement anything, because sometimes when you start the project and you do some estimations, you say that we need to, let's say, 2 weeks to set up the project, to set up environment, and so on and so on. So we're saying you can start creating tests from day one. Another point is that your engineers, I mean customer engineers, also will be able to create the tests. So they can easily jump into the project, they can easily fix tests if it's needed, and understand some test failures. So that's our, say, main selling points here. Yep.
I have one more question related to support. Like, how frequently you are making updates in it, and like how it is supported in case like bug is found in your application. How can be quickly adjusted, fixed, or propose the solution for it?
So there is support chat, which is pretty active. So this is technically a Slack channel. You can put your questions, and you will get either answers or the ways how to solve your problem. As for the bugs, yes, they can be found. It depends on the priority of the bug. If it's something critical, then probably it will be fixed really fast. If it's something like maybe your project specific, or if it's some rare case, it depends. We may ask to contribute you back because it's completely open sourced, and you may be interested in contributing. So all issues are on the GitHub, so all development work also done there, so you can check the results, check the issues. Mostly the problems we are facing, it's not our problems, but some other problems. For example, for now, at this time, Edge browser, and the driver for it doesn't work well. And we can do nothing with it. We are saying just use some old version, that's it. The majority of issues we are facing, we are trying to debug someone's issues. Any other questions? Okay, thank you for your attention.